Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our today's webinar. We're so glad to have you with us tonight, and we're looking forward to a great session. And we truly appreciate your time and participation. Tonight, we're happy and honored to have Mr. Charles Abu Saab with us. Charles is the Regional Commercial Director at Morgan International, and he will be taking us through a deep dive into the importance of the FMAA designation. Just for you to know that Charles is based in the Middle East, so now it's almost midnight on his side of the world, but he insisted on delivering this session and to put his knowledge and his experience on the table tonight. So I'm pretty sure that you will find his insights valuable and important, and you will enjoy an informative and engaging session, hopefully. During the presentation, I'd appreciate if you could keep your microphones muted so that we avoid any echoes. And at the end of the session, we'll have time for Q&As, and we'll be ready to answer all of your questions for sure. Without any delay, Charles, I'd like to thank you again, and the floor is yours. Let's get started.
Thank you so much, Anis, and thank you everyone for attending. We have quite a substantial amount of people joining us, so I'm happy, very happy to know that you have this interest, and I'll be more than happy to provide you with the information you're hoping for. So, without further ado, I'm going to be sharing the screen so that we can take this forward. So today's subject is from student to specialist, warming up with the FMAA certification. And on the agenda for today is, sorry, on the agenda for today, we're going to go ahead and explain a little bit about the required skills for the future and whatever are the trends that are driving the business world. A little bit of insights on why the certifications are important, and particularly the FMAA certification. We're going to explain a little bit more about it, as my colleague Anis said, and we're going to get to a Q&A. Hopefully, we're going to be able to keep you interested in what we have to say, and hopefully provide you with what you're hoping to hear and see. So at the start, allow me for just a minute. I'm going to launch a poll on Zoom. You will see it on your screens. It's just a couple of questions, very easy. If you guys would indulge and answer them to give us just an idea of who you guys are. In brief, like what's the general background? So you will see the first question is about your major. The second question is about your expected graduation year, whether it's this one or the next, and about your confidence in finding a job, because in general, the main driver for students and professionals to seek certifications is to upskill themselves, improve on their career, better job opportunities, or even better job opportunities within their current employment. So as we're looking, thank you for taking the time to answering. As we're looking at your answers, we seem to have quite a diverse background here. A lot of people from business background, finance, accounting, and others as well. I'm happy to see that people from non-accounting, finance, or business backgrounds are also joining, because you will come to see later in the presentation that the FMAA is not specific to accounting and finance, despite what its name actually says. So yes, great. We have fresh graduates. We have people graduating this year. Good luck. And we have people graduating next year. And in about 2 years, I think, because you didn't have the option for more, we may have people graduating in more, but that's not a decisive factor for you guys, because as you will also come to see, the FMAA certification is available for you as of now. You don't have to wait until you graduate. And if you are fresh graduates or graduating this year with I see most have a 50-50 outlook on their confidence in finding jobs. Maybe some of you are already employed, looking for something better, etc. And this is designed to actually help you boost your confidence in that. So thank you for everyone who took the time to actually put down the answers. that gave us a little bit of an idea of how to put things moving forward. So thank you for doing that. Going back to our presentation, uh, what are the skills that are needed for the future? So I'm going to try to keep it as engaging as possible. As my colleague Anis said, we're going to have you muted for the most of it to avoid voice overlap or echoes. And we will try to keep it engaging throughout with a couple of such small polls that we will move through while we explain all the aspects of the thing for you. So now, what are the trends driving the digital world? So everything is evolving. We've seen a huge emergence in AI in the last couple of years. Of course, machinery is really taking over a lot of jobs, whether it's digital machinery or actual machinery. But this is not reason for despair, because as much as some jobs are becoming obsolete, a lot of new jobs are also emerging, and we will get to see that in a little bit also. And if you look at the actual proportion of jobs or tasks completed by humans versus machines from 2022 and what is expected in 2027, you will see that machines are getting the tendency of taking over some jobs, but we will look at the safety factor for with the human factor that is always going to be remaining necessary on that end. But as I just mentioned, there's the emergence of AI. So again, I'm just going to launch a very small and quick poll just to get your insight on what do you believe are threats perhaps with the emergence of AI. Sorry, you should be able to see the poll now on your screen. So, do you think artificial intelligence is going to be able to replace all human jobs at some point? And how much are you currently using out of AI tools available, be it ChatGPT, similar, DeepSeek, or any of the other AI tools that have now been launched in the market? And how much do you actually trust uh, particularly ChatGPT's output in terms of what you're asking of it? So looking at your answers so far, and thank you for taking the time to respond. Yes, I see a lot of people think that AI will replace all jobs. Some people think it will replace a lot of job, and there are still skepticals such as myself that think that it will have its limitations. And I personally do agree, though the vastest majority of you I think that it will replace a lot of jobs. It probably will be a lot, yes, but there's always that human factor that's going to remain somewhere. And yes, thank you. So the vastest majority of you said that in terms of trusting the output from AI, it's very dependent on actually what you are asking of it and how much you know how to ask of it. So the human factor is always going to be a very prominent and weighing factor in terms of the output we can get from AI. So thank you for taking the time to answer it. Moving forward, sorry, moving forward. So yes, as you can see, there are fast growing jobs since the emergence of AI, the improvement of machinery, the dawn of the industrial revolution, the fourth industrial revolution, actually, which we're in. So you can see that there are a lot of new jobs emerging on the right side of the on the sorry left side of the screen, and some jobs that are actually becoming obsolete on the right side of the screen. If you look into those jobs, you will see that most of the jobs that are becoming obsolete are easily replaceable by an intelligence because they are somewhat perhaps administrative uh, duties or functions. A lot of it can be replaced with something that is automated. So that's the value of automation. But then again, these people can actually learn new skills and be adaptable to the new emerging jobs left and right. And this is one of the major values of certifications. So looking ahead, you can see that 40%, 44% of worker core skills are expected to change in the next 5 years. So how do you actually keep up with this trend, this is where somewhat certifications come in. Because why get certified? Really, what's the major motivation? So if we look at the skills gap in the job market, I mean, most academics have very rigorous syllabus. It's accredited by by many bodies, and this is very valuable. So at no point do certifications replace academic education. But then again, academic education still has some limitation at some point. So with the accreditation systems, they have to submit an updated syllabus, wait for approvals, etc., etc. While the certifying bodies, they have their own syllabus and their own recognition for the syllabus, so they can update it on the fly. I'll give you a quick example. One of the certifications we actually provide is the digital marketing certification. And as soon as AI started really emerging in the last 2 to 3 years, the AI technologies or knowledges have been embedded in the syllabus immediately and growing ever since. And now in 2025, their new released syllabus includes an AI function or an AI integration in each of the aspects of digital marketing that is taught within the certification. And the same applies to most certifications. Whilst academic curriculums have hardly gotten updated mid to end 2024, maybe, to include some AI functions in certain aspects of it. So that's not a bad thing. It's just a technical or clerical limitations that academic curriculums face, which is not the case with certification syllabus or curriculums. And yes, certification programs are designed to give you the actual applied skills necessary on specific jobs and job functions, while in the academic function, you do learn a lot of theoretical knowledge about a certain job function or a certain job field with some applied skills, while on the other hand, the certification deeply focuses on the skills with little section for the theoretical knowledge and the non-applied knowledge. And most importantly, that skills gap is faced with employers. So employers are hiring fresh grads or even grads with 2, 3, 4 years experience, but even those 2, 3, 4 years experience sometimes don't really provide that employee the actual skills needed depending on the functions they've been performing in the past 2 to 3 or 4 years. And it's very dependent on their personal flexibility and adaptability and capacity to learn new skills and the actual required skills for a new job or a new emerging function. So, how do we look at these? So, the challenges that the businesses face are mainly staying relevant, keeping up with the trends, and the possibility to be able to retain employees in their function, be it because of their performance or because of their potential replaceability with an automation or an AI. So, who are the employees that will really be, I wouldn't say non-expendable, but most retainable are the ones who actually do demonstrate knowledge and skills that is very hardly or difficult to replace with an automation or an AI. And that is one of the key driving factors in certification programs. So, uh, what the future holds, evolving smart and digital technologies. We've all been witnessing that in the past 2 to 3 years. Globalization, because most industries are now pretty much global. If we look at industries 15 years back, they were not as globalized as currently. And if we look at them 20, 25, and 30 years back, most industries were local. Like in each country, wherever they operate, they hardly had any interaction with the outside world unless they were in the trading, um, sorry, import export business, etc. So but now every company almost has a branch in a different country or at least in a different region. And then there's always these new regulations. So with all the digitization evolution, with all the machine learning, AI, etc., all this jazz, there are a lot of regulations that need to be updated. So for example, there's a lot of introduction of AI in the medical industry. So now an AI can actually look at an imaging and come up with a diagnostic. But let's say for some reason that AI made some kind of mistake in diagnosing that image, whether it was wrong input or what wrong programming or whatever it is. Who's to blame? Is it the designer? Is it the doctor? How do you actually hold an AI accountable for any such mistake? So there's always this new emergence of regulations that need to keep up with all the evolution that is coming up, and certification programs usually are very up to date with that evolution, sort of saying. All right. So, what are the key skills that employers are looking for in the future? Definitely, they are looking for adaptability and flexibility. Tech savviness is definitely a plus, emotional intelligence, and most importantly, critical thinking and data literacy, because now everything is being summarized into data. So, if you don't know how to really manage, handle, read, analyze, and come up with solutions and decisions relevant from that data, you possibly could become replaceable with some kind of technology, automation, or an AI. But there's that always that human factor in decisions that make humans indispensable, no matter how much technology a company can have. Let me give you just a quick example. Maybe some of you might disagree, but let's say you're in the investment business, financial consultant or stockbroker or whatever it is. I mean, you could feed an AI a horrendous amount of data, and they could come up with predictions and recommendations for you in terms of investment. But an actual investment analyst or a financial consultant that is really up to date, keeping up with news, etc., might catch something in the news that an AI hasn't been fed yet, and it will completely reverse their actual outlook on the whatever the advice they are giving, or the recommendation they would be giving for buying or selling any kind of stock. So there will always be this limitation with AI in terms of the information we feed it. And as over 68% of you agrees that the output from AI is very dependent on the input that you actually give it, and how viable it is and how up to date it might be. So keep those in mind while considering how to move forward, or what as certifications to look into. Particularly today, our subject is on the Financial and Managerial Accounting Associate, the FMAA. And as Anis said, I insisted on delivering it to you guys despite the time difference, because I actually planned on going through the FMAA myself, because I found that it has a lot to offer in terms of helping me personally continue to progress in my personal career. So stay connected, invest in your knowledge and skills. This applies for every and each one of you, because no matter what stage you are in your career, a fresh graduate, even if you're still a student, or if you're a seasoned professional with 10, 15, or 20 plus years experience, such as myself, you cannot stop learning, because as I think it was Einstein, the day we stop learning is the day we actually die. So don't become obsolete, don't become a dinosaur, continue to learn. So just quickly, I'm going to skim through a couple of things to say about us at Morgan International. So we've been in the we
It looks like that Charles has went through a small technical problem. He's fixing it. We need like a few seconds and he will be back with us.
Have I been disconnected?
Yes, Charles, we're not able to hear you for the past 1 minute. So if you could
Oh,
resume.
sure. How many slides do you need me to go back?
I think you started by telling us about Morgan International, so you
Oh,
can
all
take
right.
it from there. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Cool. Thank you, Anis. So again, just quickly about Morgan International, we've been in the training industry for certification programs for the past 30 years. We've happily graduated over 150,000 certification holders in the different certifications that we offer. As much as we deliver professional training for professional certifications training, we also deliver soft skills, technical skills, industry relevant workshops and trainings and in-house corporate trainings. And we do have quite an extensive portfolio in terms of the fields of certifications we cover. So whether you're in human resource, supply chain, digital marketing, accounting, and finance, we definitely have something that could help you boost your careers. And our pride and joy is the extensive database of happy serviced clients and partners we've had throughout the years in different industries, just as I mentioned. So go,
Charles,
yes.
sorry to interrupt. Can you just reshare your screen because we're not able to see it?
Oh, okay. It seems the entire meeting interrupted. All right, sorry.
All
So
right.
if you, if
That's
if
great
you,
now. Yes, that's great.
excellent. Thank you, Anis. So if you heard what I said previously, it was about these slides. All right. So our years of experience, our alumni, our professional, if you want, aspects, and our portfolio, as well as our database of clients. All right. So moving forward to the reasons why to become an FMAA. So as I was saying earlier, I think when I just got back from the interruption, it does showcase a globally relevant skill set. So as I mentioned earlier, it's not only relevant to finance and accounting because it's mainly dedicated to driving business decisions, informed business decisions in particular, but it has to be founded on a solid base of accounting and finance. So even if you're not an accounting or finance student, the FMAA's designation is definitely for you, but it will have to take you through a little bit of foundation in accounting and finance to move you towards business decisions, management, and decision making. Okay, so holding a certification is a very valuable factor in terms of recruitment. So, also, as I was saying, over half of the responders were not as confident in finding jobs easy, and which is very understandable given the considerations of the skill sets required, the new requirements, the new emergence of regulations, etc., that we mentioned earlier. So holding a certification next to your name. So I'm personally, my name is Charles Abu Saab. So as long as once my name becomes Charles Abu Saab, comma, FMAA, the rest of my resume becomes less relevant to an employer because just seeing that designation next to your name gives them an idea of the skill set you have, the knowledge you have, and the commitment you actually took towards gaining that certification. So it definitely helps you stand out as a professional. So who is it for? As I was saying, for you who are graduating this year, fresh grads, or graduating next year or more, this program is dedicated for people who are currently students in accounting or business or finance, especially for fresh graduates, even from non-accounting and finance backgrounds, and it's dedicated for professionals working in business. Why? Because as I was saying, despite what the name says, financial and managerial accountant, it's dedicated to help you understand financial statements and accounting statements. Or like, let's say, for example, you want to run forecast. There's a specific, I would, I want to say, science to really creating proper, accurate forecasts that are actually informed and that can help you be more certain of a business decision that you're making. So you don't have to be a finance expert to create a target forecast or a sales forecast, but you need to understand some fundamentals. And this is what the certification brings you. Whether you become a business owner, whether you're an employee at a senior level, at a junior level, it doesn't matter. You could still put those learning into action in whatever aspect your job has, uh, especially if it's not financial, whether you're in sales, you're in advisory and operations, etc. So it does provide you a foundational knowledge, and it definitely gives you the flexibility because the knowledge you will attain and the skills you will learn are applicable in any industry or very various industries. So just not to be saying just anyone, maybe you could find one that it doesn't apply to, but it's hard to actually find one that it doesn't apply to. And the FMAA certification in particular is an entry level because it is one of the certifications that do not require you to hold a bachelor's degree to be able to get it. So you can do it as you study before you even graduate. So once you graduate, you already have two credentials, your bachelor's degree and a professional certification to show for yourself. So the career opportunities after gaining an FMAA are quite numerous, but just to name a few, you could become a business analyst, a budget analyst. Well, a business analyst also falls in that area, a financial analyst, a controller, junior manager, and definitely an entrepreneur because you will be understanding a lot of aspects in how to take your business forward. So quite a substantial amount of opportunities in the horizon of holding a certification like the FMAA, for example. So the FMAA exam in itself, once you study the content and you take the course, it's a 2-hour exam. Quite simple, very easy, mostly MCQs. It doesn't have an educational requirement, as I mentioned, so no bachelor's degree required for you to obtain an FMAA. And usually it does require an average of 50 hours of study. So you take a course, you put the time maybe to study about 10 hours a week, and within 5 weeks, you'd be more than ready to actually take the exam and add those precious 4 letters to your name on your resume. So the content of the FMAA itself, as you can see, there are 5 major topics. So you go through an introduction in general accounting and financial management. So you need to familiarize yourself with all the terms used in accounting, some of the principles, etc., just to be able to really understand how to take it forward. And then the other topics become financial statement preparation and analysis. And when we're talking about that, we're not really talking about the publicly listed financial statements like income statement, etc. You will learn about these, but it's more about preparing the flow of any financial statement you want to create. You go through planning and budgeting, cost management, and performance metrics, as well as a very important factor in all certifications, which is ethics. All right. So I want to just have a small fun exercise with you guys, just to give you an idea of what we mean by management accounting or financial and managerial accounting. So I'm gonna launch another quick poll. It's quite small, also, but just to get an idea. So we're looking at the automaker statistics in 2024. We've narrowed down the list of like the top 32, 4 of them, and I'd really like to hear what you think about who's the best automaker or who showed up at the top of the list of automakers in 2024. You guys have been researching. All right. Okay, so as I see for the answers, some of you actually did say Mercedes, others said Toyota, some Ford, and some BMW. I could tell you that in the next slide, you will notice that 3 of you would seem to be wrong, and actually, 3 of the choices will seem to be wrong, and one of the choices will be correct, which the majority of you actually chose. Thank you for taking the time to answering. But as you will see on the next slide, in the based on data royals and company's market cap, Toyota has emerged as the top seller or top earning manufacturer in 2024. But the question that bids itself here is, so is Toyota the best car brand, or is actually Toyota the best automaker, at least for 2024? That's where management accounting and financial management kick in. So there are a lot of aspects to actually consider. But let's talk about the following here. So if you look at these figures and you look up a few more websites, you will notice that looking at full year data for 2024, Toyota have actually sold quite a big, substantial market share of vehicles. It did have a drop in Asia, but it has a huge climb in Europe. In counterparty, Volkswagen, who shows up second on this list, despite both of them having a drop in their total sales compared to previous years, they had a huge growth in America as a European brand, but it did have a lot of losses in Asia. So those are some of the factors that would actually be relevant towards decision making. So if I'm an investor and I want to know which car to invest in, I mean, yes, probably because of the difference in the figures between 46 billion and 19 billion, Toyota might seem like a good idea. But you also need to look at more factors, and this is where management accounting kicks in. So what if you're looking at the last 5 years? Would Toyota still emerge at the top? What if you're looking at the last 10 years? I would say probably most of the European brands would be in the top three. What if you look at 2024 in quarters? So maybe Toyota suffered losses in the first two quarters, but huge gains in the next two quarters. You, you'll need to look into that and explain what happened there. Why was there loss in the first two quarters and gain in the next two quarters? What if you're looking at make models? So is Toyota selling more SUVs than sedans, or more SUVs than other makers, or more sedans than other makers? So there's a lot of details that you might need to look into before truly considering whatever decision you're going to make is an informed and proper business decisions. So quite a few criteria that we learn to look into. For example, maybe if you think about costs and supply chain management of either one of them. So if you're familiar with the just-in-time manufacturing technology that Toyota adopted in the, I would say, early 70s or late 60s, something like that, it did make a huge change in Toyota's performance throughout the past half a century, because they were mostly looking at the cost and the supply chain and the lead time of actually providing to their customers, which most of the other manufacturers don't consider. So those are the aspects that you need to learn, that you learn to look into when you become a management accountant, no matter what your function at the end, at your job, at your company is, whether you're in the accounting department, in the sales department, in the operations, in the procurement, wherever you are, the aspects of management accounting will also take place in whatever type of decision you want to make. So, just a small fun exercise to give you an idea of what management accounting really could involve. So, for the FMAA exam, as I said, it's a 2-hour exam. It's actually 80 MCQs, quite simple, and it has 299 USDs in fees payable to the society once you're ready to take your exam. And the exam is available in windows. So in 2025, you have an exam window during January, which is a couple of weeks where the exam would be available. If you miss that window, you will need to wait until May or September of 2025 to be able to take that exam. And it's an exam also available in Arabic if any of you is of Arab origin and would like to actually take the exam in Arabic. So once you've passed the FMAA exam and you've earned your designation, it actually requires you, similar to mostly any certification, to actually maintain that certification. So when you pass, you get a badge that you can display proudly on your profile and you can add it to your CV. But you will also have to earn continuous professional education credits, 15 every year, to be able to renew your FMAA license instead of having to retake an exam. And the renewal on yearly basis is 49 USD, also payable to the society itself. So, how do you prepare for the FMAA exam? So, we at Morgan International, we have partnered with PRC, Powers Resource Corporation. They develop content based on the blueprint provided for the FMAA exam by its delivering society, the IMA. So we actually do deliver courses in English or in Arabic in different regions. Definitely, not all courses are available in all regions simultaneously. We deliver instructor-led lectures, and our FMAA program is, I would presume it's about 9 or 10 lectures, and we do offer live classes in certain areas where preferred, and we mostly offer live online classes with a huge advantage of as you see on the Zoom platform, classes are recorded. You have access to the recordings. You can review them over and over again while you prepare for your exam. And we offer the support necessary for you to be able to move through the application process with the society and actually sit for your exam. The course package definitely includes ebooks, question banks, mock exams. It's an 18-month access, so you have a full 18 months to try whenever you feel ready for the exam to go for it, and it can be even extended, and the package comes with also printed textbooks. So a couple of helpful tips if and when you plan to actually sit for a certification exam, be it the FMAA or any other certification. The key here is motivation. You need to really understand that this is a huge boost to your career. You really want it. You need to be hungry for it. You need to maintain a certain discipline in preparing. So you need to dedicate time to study. Learn to love multiple choice questions, because every certification prep material has a question bank, and as many times as you can repeat all the questions in that question bank is the easiest way for you to pass an exam, because usually the question banks of all providers are based on historical questions from the society for their exam. So the more you get familiar with the questions, learn how to answer them quickly, you make your passing the exam easier. Run a few sample exams before, as you have a mock exam here. You could actually find a lot online, and make sure you do not miss the important sessions, especially on the topics you might feel challenged about. It's very important to be able to interact with your fellow colleagues, your instructor, etc. So was something additional, there are CPE programs available where you could actually not only to renew your certification, but you could use them as short technical industry specific courses that you could take. Packages could include up to 1700 courses available in different fields and industries, and you could actually use those. So just quickly, if you don't mind, we're closing in on the end of today. So just to get a slight idea to if how we did, so let us know how we did. Did we deliver some of the information you were hoping for? Were you hoping for more? If you could tell us what, so we can do better next time. And in just a minute, we will give you the floor for questions and answer, and we will check the Q&A section in the presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charles, for this excellent presentation and for sharing your expertise and your knowledge with us tonight. It's really appreciated. And now it's time, as you have mentioned, it's time for Q&A. So, guys, feel free to raise your hand if you have any question, and we will make sure to unmute you so that we can give you the proper answer.
So I have a question. How much is your course? Like it's the online course with which is instructor led, correct? And how much is that, and when does it run from and until?
Anis, would you like to take this one?
Yes, Salim. So basically, we're still drafting the schedule for the live online class that we will be delivering in for the Canadian market, and hopefully in the coming week we could be sending a draft of the schedule to all of the attendees so that you can have a look on the cost and on the schedule. But we're talking about 8 to 9 sessions, one session per week. Sorry for that. So it's around like 2 or 2 month and a half class delivery.
Any other questions?
Amit, can
Yeah.
you please go ahead?
So my question is,
Amit, we can't hear you. Can you just unmute yourself, please?
Now, can you listen to me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I'm a Canadian citizen and I'm interested in doing some course which actually can give me some education which provides me a TN visa. So my whole purpose to do any financial course is to get a TN visa because finance is one of the category which can actually give me a job in US with a proper visa. What is the best certification to do if I don't have I do have a financial knowledge, but I do not have a financial education.
Yes, so basically, Amit, when we talk about the certifications, we're not talking about academic or about university degrees. So technically speaking, even if you are not holding a student visa or if you're not an actual student, you can do it. So it doesn't have a direct impact on your like on the status or on your residency status.
No. Okay. So let me rephrase it. Do you know like a TN visa?
The
Do you, do
TN
you,
visa.
yeah. So okay. So let me explain
Please.
it. So if somebody who is a Canadian citizen and wanted to work in US, you need to get a visa which is called a TN visa. It's just like a H1 visa for other citizens they want to work in US. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So like say suppose I'm a chartered accountant and I'm a Canadian citizen, I can get a job in US and I am legally can work in US. Okay. Via TN visa.
Okay.
But like say to become a chartered accountant is a long journey. But there are so many financial jobs which are like a basic job which is which can give me a US visa. So like say which is what is a certification which actually can be done real quickly and also is employ also basically has an employable skill where you actually can shift your career into finance.
Yes, so basically, just now I understood your question, Amit. So basically, we cannot tell what are the designations that you can hold in order to get employed in the US and to get this visa. But what we can say is that any designation or any certification, business certification, can add up to your profile so that you can become under the radar of the employers in the US, and then you can apply to shift or to work over there. In fact,
Okay.
our tonight's session is focused on the FMAA designation, not
Okay.
on the designations that could
Okay. So
help you
I'm sorry,
getting.
but like say, can you please ask one of your US or Canadian colleague to give me a call, please?
Yes, we could. We could. After this call, we will go in contact with you, and then we can see how we can answer your personalized questions. Now
Yeah.
we are more interested in questions that are directly related to the FMAA, if someone has, so that we can benefit from the presence of Charles with us, so that we can answer them. All right. So I assume so far we don't have Salim. You have any other question? You have raised your hand.
Sorry, I'm gonna unmute myself. Sorry. So, is there any a question? Is there an option for like self-study? Through your package. Getting the preparation books that you have and the mock exam and the bank questions, or we do have to go through the training sessions.
Yes, for sure. Charles, would you like to take
Especially if
Yes.
someone, especially if someone has a little bit of financial background and accounting background,
Yeah.
they may just need help and since
Well,
the time.
thank you for that last sentence, Salim, because I was going to say that yes, the certification is available in self-study format, so you could get the exact same resources of the online courses, but you could study at your own pace and at your own convenience. And I was going to say, but we do recommend actually taking the instructor-led lectures, especially if you do not have a finance and accounting background, because you might need some help navigating through that first module or two. But if you do have sufficient financial and accounting background, you might not need them. But then again, what we emphasize on in terms of the instructor-led lectures is that they give you a higher probability of actually passing the exam, and they would help you avoid any cost of failure for any reason. So, but yeah, they are available in self-study format.
Great, Charles. And that was my next question. What is, if you have any statistics on, on getting the FMAA certification passed through your institute? If somebody took a, let's say, instructor-led um, course through your institute, and I don't know if you have those statistics or not, but
We do actually, and if I can say, as a clarification, at first the institute, the IMA, actually launched the FMAA only last year, so it only had one exam window last year. And from the candidates who studied with Morgan and actually attempted that exam last year, we've had over 82% of our student passing. So, but that's only from one available exam window of last year, and the next exam window is March of this year.
Yes, and Charles, in fact, I went through the syllabus of the FMAA, and as an answer to Salim's question, if you have the basic information of the accounting or the foundation of the accounting, you will easily find yourself excelling in answering the questions or in mastering the material. It's not something difficult. It's even if you don't have any experience, you can by studying the information and the concepts, which are not that difficult, you will easily master it, and you can hopefully pass your exams. And the material are so comprehensive, by the way. So so if you have like a genuine knowledge in the accounting, you will find yourself comfortable and familiar while you're preparing with our material.
Anis, if you'd allow me to add, just I need to mention to the candidates who are still with us so far that the last slide is showing a QR code that will drop you on our website, where actually you can find a lot of information about the FMAA and any other certifications that you also may be interested in. But most importantly, I want to thank everyone who actually took the time to stay with us, especially whoever took the time to answer the polls. And on the last poll in particular, I want to say a wholehearted thank you very much for your feedback on that. But a kind heads up, Anis, there were a couple of candidates who were hoping for a few more details that maybe you could
Yeah,
actually
no
reach out
problem.
to them after this.
Yeah, for sure. So, just as a wrap up, Charles, again, I'd like to thank you for your presentation, and I'd like to thank all of the attendees for being present with us. Before wrapping up, I want to re-emphasize on some facts and on something that is important about the FMAA, that this designation is important for any professional, especially if you are present in the Canadian market, because it somehow validates your expertise in the accounting field and it enhances as well the career opportunities, and it shows a commitment to ethical decision making, which is something that is highly wanted by most of the organizations nowadays, especially in the Canadian market. So, of course, it has a global recognition, and it's considered very economical in terms of cost, since the material is not that expensive and the exam fees are not that high. But at the same time, it has a direct and high impact on your pay rate. So it will surely open up the doors for you and will put you under the radar of the recruiters. And one important thing as well is that the completion time is relatively small. You can accomplish and you can complete it within like couple of months if you're dedicated. So, Charles, as you have mentioned, a follow-up email will follow. We'll be sending the minutes of today's session with a lot of information to the inbox of the attendees by tomorrow, so that they will have a summary of all the points and the key points that we have discussed. And for sure, uh, our numbers and our emails will be available in that email so that you guys can reach out to us throughout any channel so that we can answer your questions. So
Fantastic. Thank you, Anis.
that's it for tonight. Once again, thank you, and we look forward to hearing from you all of the questions, and hopefully we're gonna see you in our next events. Thank you a lot for your time, Charles. Thank you a lot, and we're gonna connect soon, hopefully with everyone.
I'll say good evening to everyone and good night, actually.
Good. All right. Thank you, Charles. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.